Welcome to the LDN radio show, brought to you by the LDN Research Trust. I'm your host, Linda Elsiegood. I have an exciting lineup of guest speakers who are LDN experts in their field. We will be discussing low-dose Naltrexone and its many uses in autoimmune diseases, cancers, etc. Thank you for joining us. This show is sponsored by Boulevard Compounding Pharmacy, who are an iconic establishment located in Worcester, Massachusetts. They offer compounded medications to all members of the family. Their trained pharmacists specialise in bioidentical hormone therapy, aseptic compounding, erectile dysfunction, paediatrics and pain management, including LDN. Call 508-754-1791 or visit boulevardcompounding.com for more information. Today my guest is pharmacist Joseph Rossetti, who graduated from Massachusetts College of Pharmacy in 1961 with high honours. When his father, Louis Rossetti, retired in 1972 as owner and manager of Boulevard Pharmacy, which he purchased in 1931, Joseph took on the responsibilities of the new owner and pharmacy manager. In 1997, Boulevard Pharmacy became a compounding-only pharmacy. Joseph has applied his innovative approach to pharmacy and has taken it to the next level. Joseph started working in the pharmacy when he was only 9 years old, first as stock boy, then eventually as a pharmacy intern. Thank you for joining us today, Joseph.
Thank you very much.
You were telling me before we started all the different associations that you are a member of. Would you just like to run through that for our listeners?
Sure. The American College of Apothecaries, the International Academy of Compounding Pharmacists, the American Pharmacy Association, APHA, National Compounding Pharmacy Association, NCPA, Massachusetts Pharmacy Association, MHPH. Also, I was a former board member for many years, American Society of Consultant Pharmacists, and Pharmacy Compounding Centers of America.
Well, I should think if there is anything to know about pharmacy, you're the person to know it. I'm sure in all your years of being a pharmacist, you must have covered just about everything.
Yes. At one time, we were a infertility pharmacy. We've also done long-term care for many years. So we've been DME, durable medical equipment also. So we've been involved in almost every part of pharmacy.
Wow.
Including the compounding.
Mm-hmm. So in your journey as a pharmacist, how long ago was it when you first encountered LDN?
Probably 5 or 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. They brought it up at various meetings of the PCCA, which is the Pharmaceutical Compounding Centers of America. It was talked about a lot then. At one time, way before that, I had a patient with myeloma who they had put on it, and it seemed to help him. You know, he eventually succumbed, but it helped him a great deal while he was going through the treatment. And that was the first incidence I had of it.
Mm-hmm. And what forms do you compound LDN in? Do you do, the capsules, the sublingual, liquid, cream?
Mostly capsules. Have we done anything else? The liquid, too.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And do you have children on LDN, or is it just adults mainly?
Just adults.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is the starting dose that most of your doctors prescribe LDN?
1.5.
And titrate up.
Yeah, 1.5, and then they titrate up.
Hmm. And have any...
A lot of them end up, if they can tolerate it, they end up at 4.5 usually.
Okay. Have any of the patients expressed to you any negative side effects other than the sleep disturbance and vivid dreams?
Mild gastrointestinal.
Hmm. And does that...
Usually it subsides after a while, though.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Now, LDN isn't generally a standalone treatment. People normally have to do other things, even if it's supplements or I forgot. Yes, vitamins and minerals and supplements and diet. Would you say you do anything else for your patients alongside of LDN?
Well, one patient with psoriasis, we had tried a lot of things on her before. One was diet. One was like a 5-hour diet, which eliminates soy, sugar, glutens, and almost everything. We put her on that, and that seemed to help a lot. We also had her on tacrolimus topically, which helped a lot. But then we ended up putting her on LDN, and that made it a lot more bearable. She's about 20% of what she originally was. So it's been really successful. Another patient who's been dealing with Lyme's disease for probably 12 to 14 years and has gone through everything from antibiotic therapy to just about anything you can think of. And her doctor passed away who was treating her. He was a Lyme specialist. And so she went to another doctor who said that the Lyme was dead, and her symptoms were something else. They were fibromyalgia or some other thing. I really don't think he knew a lot about Lyme disease. So I ended up talking her into getting him to write for LDN, and it's been very successful. She, when a doctor passed away, she was off of it for about 2 to 3 weeks and noticed a marked difference in how she felt. So got the doctor to write for it, and she's much better. She's doing much better now. We have another patient on Hodgkin's lymphoma that claims that she's everything is much more bearable. The pain and the other symptoms are all reduced. Not completely gone, but reduced. Mm-hmm. So it looks like it's an adjunct for other therapies.
Oh, definitely. One thing I didn't ask you about your capsules, what filler do you use?
Usually Abasil, which is a methylcellulose.
Mm-hmm.
Microcrystalline methylcellulose.
That would seem to be the filler of choice that most pharmacists use. But I'm guessing you'd be happy to have a different filler should a patient request it.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, they do ask about allergens and other things. The big thing with microcrystalline is it's pretty hard to be allergic to it because it's in all plants. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, nothing's impossible, but it's pretty hard to be allergic to it.
Yes. So, in the 5 years that you've been compounding LDN for your patients, how many patients do you think you have on it currently?
120. 120.
120.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And do you have any idea of what is the most common condition that the LDN is treating in your area?
Neurological diseases like MS and
Yeah, Lyme, neurological diseases, MS.
So, is Lyme big in Massachusetts?
Very.
The capital.
Is it?
Yeah, we're the capital of Lyme disease.
Who do we have in the background joining us?
Gene Seversky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Jean.
Hi.
So it's the capital of Lyme disease. So do you help patients find a Lyme literate doctor? Do all the doctors around you prescribe LDN or only certain ones?
There's only certain ones. We have one who's an environmental specialist in our city who has a lot of Lyme patients. We have another one who's kind of an innovative doctor in a nearby town, and he does acupuncture. He does anything that people have a problem with and they can't be treated by other doctors. They go to see him. We did have some doctors on Cape Cod, which has a very high Lyme population, and one of them is retired, who was well known internationally. The Nantucket Island has a very high incidence of Lyme disease because the deer there have no predators, so it's very high. They have open season on deers all day long, but all year long.
So the population of deer is very high. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Wow. So through so many people that I deal with have found it very difficult to be diagnosed with Lyme. You know, the tests keep coming back negative when actually they do have Lyme disease. Is it easy to get tested in Massachusetts?
I'm not sure that testing does an awful lot. I think that because it's a spirochete and it gets in there and it does its damage, they may not have active Lyme, but it's already done its damage to the neurological system. I mean, that's my feeling. And so the tests, I'm not sure, tell a lot. They've been on the antibiotic. It's the spirochete is killed, but it's done its damage already.
And I've been told that, you know, there are some people who have been born now with Lyme disease, having caught it from their mother.
That I do not know.
Okay.
That's not something I'm familiar with.
It's a terrible thing to have, though, isn't it? Lyme disease.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I mean,
the spirochete's actually related to syphilis. It's the same kind of an organism. It's not to say it's syphilis, but it's the same type, so it goes in and does neurological damage.
And what would you say the success rate has been for those patients taking LDN for Lyme disease?
I would say it's very good because most of them seem to stay on it. And that's usually a sign of if it's effective or not. If they drop it, well, then they really don't think they need it. But a lot of them seem to stay on it. I'd say like 80% stay on it.
Wow. That's amazing. Do you know what other things they take alongside of the LDN?
Dermatology.
Yeah, for dermatology, it would be things like tacrolimus, things like clobetasol, which is a very strong steroid. It's supposed to be used short term, but it's not how they do it usually with that. And big thing, too, is diet. If we put them on a really good diet, it seems to help them a lot. So it's like everything working together to cure the patient or to help them.
Mm-hmm. What sort of diet do you recommend?
The low sodium, gluten free, soy free, sugar free. Just all like no nut butters, just plain fresh nuts, fresh vegetables, no jams, no jellies, things like that. Everything fresh, organic meats if they can have them, fish, fresh fish.
Yeah, and then the goal is to rebuild their digestive system as well. So we kind of strip them of everything and, get them on probiotics and start adding food slowly just so they can rebuild their digestive system.
Mm-hmm. And how long do you put them on a restrictive diet before start building them back up?
As long as we can get them to stay on it.
It's not easy.
No.
Especially trying to get gluten out of your diet. Gluten seems to be in most things. And if you're not having food straight from the ground, it's very difficult not to have processed sugar in it. I know with fruit you still have natural sugars, but that's different. But
we really stress fresh fruits and vegetables.
Yes, exactly. But then again, it depends on what the crops have been treated with as well, doesn't it? Even if you have the fresh vegetables. If we could only go back in time and eliminate a lot of the chemicals that are sprayed on food, but then it wouldn't last so long, would it?
No. But we really don't know. The word organic can mean different things, so it's kind of catchy to find out what the right organic food is and what it isn't. The government really doesn't have very good control over it.
I think, having spoken to a lot of American doctors, it's probably easier in England to get natural food than it is in America. I'm only going by what I'm told, but it's hard to eat healthy, especially when you eat out, I think. Yeah. We went to the conference in Portland in Oregon in September and on gluten-free. And it was, I caught the flu on the plane over there, so I really wasn't very well anyway, and I didn't really want to eat. But many of the places we went into and asked, do you do a gluten-free menu? Yes. So you'd go and sit down. It was a gluten-free menu, but anything that had gluten in it was taken off your plate. So it was the same meal as a gluten meal, but without the gluten. Like, for example, a friend took us to a Red Robin. It's a burger place. So it was 100% beef burger, but without a bun, because the bun was gluten. And it just made me smile. It was really, really funny. And in one of the supermarkets here in England, the supermarket had changed its layout for Christmas, all the crackers and all the food, and people buy food this time of the year as though in January there's going to be a shortage and nobody's ever going to be able to buy food again. It just, you can only eat so much. Anyway, and I was saying to the girl, where has your free from, we call it over here, your free from section gone? And she said, we've removed it until the new year. So I said, so the people that eat gluten-free and dairy-free, you have nothing? She said, no, not until the new year. I thought that was rather strange. It's just like, we've done away with Valentine's Day, all those things, and we've packed them away. And it was all the gluten stuff. Couldn't believe it. That could
set somebody back quite a while.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be very careful. But my husband has bought a juicer. So he's been making with apples and beets and carrots. And oh boy, to buy fresh vegetables to make these juices is very expensive because you need so much for a glass of juice because most of it is the pulp that you throw away. So that's what we've been doing is juicing. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So for anybody out there who lives in the Massachusetts area, if there are any doctors or indeed LDN users who would like to have a prescription filled or potential users who would like to find out more to contact you, how do they do that?
Well, they can look at our website, boulevardcompounding.com, and it has our phone number and contact information on it.
Mm-hmm.
Or call us at 508-754-1791.
And are you happy, or Jean happy, to speak to callers to answer any questions they may have about, compounding, LDN, other medications, any conflicts with LDN with other medications? Are you there to answer questions?
Absolutely. That's a big thing with us. We're a very personal pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wellness supplements. We're here to answer questions.
Oh, that's fantastic because
and we tell them the truth. We don't just look for sales. We tell them what we think and what they shouldn't do. So I think we're very, very honest. We've been here 86 years, so that it gets a loyal band of customers.
Oh, that's amazing, isn't it? And the personal touch is everything. I mean, doctors are really, really busy. They have so many patients to see, yet you can bond with your pharmacist and ask all the questions that you haven't had chance to ask to a doctor. And I think building those relationships and the trust is really important to somebody's health.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
So, yeah. Well, you've done an amazing job, and thank you very much for everything you do to help and assist people.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye now.
This show is sponsored by Boulevard Compounding Pharmacy, who are an iconic establishment located in Worcester, Massachusetts. They offer compounded medications to all members of the family. Their trained pharmacists specialise in bioidentical hormone therapy, aseptic compounding, erectile dysfunction, paediatrics and pain management, including LDN. Call 508-754-1791 or visit boulevardcompounding.com for more information. Any questions or comments you may have, please email me, Linda, Linda, at ldnrt.org. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciated your company. Until next time, stay safe and keep well.